Yo, what's good on this early Saturday morning? We're gonna talk some NBA here today. And today, man, I got two of the best, brightest minds of basketball that I know. You know. So without any y'all, I don't think they need no introduction, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce them anyway. I got the basketball savant, the finger roll of facts. My boy King, what's good, man? And I got my boy Real. Real,
King,
what's
King,
good,
your,
brother?
King, your audio. Yeah, your audio.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm. I don't know.
All right, King, have a technical difficulty. Yo, what's up, everybody? I know it's bright and early, but we about to get into some NBA talk. Let's do it, man.
And so while King get his audio together, we're gonna start off by just doing a brief overview of what the NBA looks like this past week. Um, there's been some interesting things going on, some interesting comments, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion on some of these things. First, I want to start by talking about the implosion of the number one seed Miami Heat. They've been on a dip as of late. Uh, this week we saw Spo, UD, and Jimmy Butler get into an altercation on the bench. Um, there's some audio clips that have come out of here, with them having the conversation, and some tempers flared over there. So I want to touch on it and see what you guys may think the issue is, and do you see Miami slipping in the standings because of their latest skid? So I want to get you guys take on that.
First and foremost, can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
No,
yes.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, not.
Oh man. Nah, would you like me to take that first, Neil?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
So a couple things. One, I don't take the sideline beef too seriously. I just feel like it's something that showed the light of day, I guess, in front of the audience and all. It did it out. It just happened at the wrong place. I feel like. Um, I think they have a bunch of personalities over there, and I think that type of stuff probably happens all the time with the type of team they have. Um, the reason I think they're slipping right now is just because they don't have a real, like a superstar, quote unquote. Jimmy Butler is, I guess, the closest thing you can have to it. But I really feel like he's more of a number two guy that fits their number one mode right now. Um, so they're struggling a little bit, but they're the number one seed. I think they still have like a game, maybe a game and a half lead at this point. So if they slip, they won't slip too far. I don't think so. They're just getting ready for the playoffs. Hopefully, they turn it around and everything will be okay. But I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Real, what you
Oh,
think?
also, thanks for the great introduction as well. I wanted to say that.
Yes, sir.
Uh, yeah, right now I'm looking at the standings. They're half a game up. They did lock a playoff seed, so that's not a problem. They're half a game up on Philly and on Milwaukee, and they only a game up on Boston. So I guess you could say they picked the wrong time to start kind of floundering a little bit. 'Cause they lost again last night. Um, any one of these guys can come up there and take it from them. I know a lot of people were kind of picking Miami as one of the teams to come out the East. The way they've been playing before this little skid they had, and like King said, I think that's the fact that they don't really have a true superstar that can kind of lead them. They've been kind of doing it by committee. As far as do I think they'll slip, I'm gonna have to go if we the way they're playing right now and the way the other teams are playing, that's right behind them. That's like I said, that's anywhere from a half to a game. I'm gonna have to say, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Philly looking pretty good right now. Like I said, the best out of these what I see so far. I can't believe that Boston is only a game back of the number one seed. We couldn't have said that like 3 months ago, man. And they're on the tear right now. You know what I'm saying? So it could be any one of those four teams that can get that number one seed, man. But if I had to call it right now, based off of what we've seen, yeah, I think Miami's gonna lose that first seed, man.
You think?
Yeah.
Question for y'all, real quick. Do you think Miami's avoiding the 1-2 for a reason?
Um, I can see. I think they might because that one seed in the East is a little. There's no definitive to me as a one seed, and then matchup wise, some of those top tier teams on the Eastern Conference side, I feel like Miami doesn't really match up well with.
Mm-hmm.
So probably slipping down in the standings may help them. Um, like you say, they don't have a bona fide one. They just got a two that's supposed to be a one. Well, he came to Miami to be a one, and a bunch of pieces that go around. Um, in the playoffs, teams lock in, and game plans change. So for Miami, they may do better sliding down in the standings and avoiding that 1-2.
Yeah, I don't think they want Brooklyn. I think
I don't think so
Brooklyn's
either.
a tough matchup for them, especially with both Kyrie and
Ben,
KD.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say Ben too. I think Ben might be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, so I don't think Miami, especially with not having a superstar like we just said, they don't. I don't think they want that one.
They don't want no
Yeah.
problems.
None, zero. They don't want no issues. So I also want to talk about another team right now that's slipping in the standings, with one of their stars, well, their main star being injured, in Steph Curry. The Golden State Warriors are sliding down the standings, and their record doesn't look very good in the last week or so. Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
I can't definitively say. So uh, what do you guys feel about Golden State? Do you feel like this is just because of Steph being out of the lineup that they're doing this, or is there more to it than that?
Bro, you want to take that one first?
Well, I think it's looking like the fact that Steph for the last two seasons, if y'all think about it, has been carrying the team without any help. And so I think he's starting to show because Steph got hurt, he's starting to break down. And I think he's at that age now where you can't constantly be counting on him to be a solo superstar and be carrying a team like that. And the fact that also too of missing Draymond, who was a defensive anchor, who also was their point forward, was a guy that helped let Steph play off the ball more and let him, run off the screens and stuff like that to get him open. That took a little bit more pressure off of him. And so with Draymond now, that put more pressure on Steph to not only be the guy who's in charge of scoring, but also the facilitator. And so that also put a lot of pressure on him because a lot of teams were starting to trap him and double team him, and that kind of wore him out too, which led to him being injured. And so, yeah, like was we all know that Clay is not the same Clay as he was in past. We know Draymond been in out the lineup because of injuries. They still have a lot of unproven guys around them. There's some talented guys, but they're just still unproven. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I can. I mean, as a Mavs fan, you would hope they start slipping, man. But as an NBA fan, I think that they are, and it's already showing because they had the number two seed, and Memphis came up and took it from them. And so, right now, they're only 3 games above Utah and Dallas. So, with like 8 games left, so anything could happen. They've lost, I think, believes the two out of the yeah 2 out of 3 the last 3 games, and so anything could happen, man. Dallas and Utah play tomorrow, so one of those two teams have a chance to kind of creep up to 2.5 behind Golden State, with Golden State playing at the way they're playing. So yeah, I could see them. I could see them slipping.
I'm gonna go ahead and just piggyback off it a little bit. You said about Steph Curry carrying the team. I think Steph Curry has failed to carry the team. We should say the past couple of years. I think it's really a thing of injury. Steve Kerr has a great system going over there in Golden State, and I think the past couple of years has shown that. I think the pieces of the system, though, are starting to break down a little bit. We saw Clay was the first piece that started going down.
Yeah.
Draymond Green now, and Steph Curry has been going through injuries the past few years. I don't think Steph Curry is going to be healthy at all going through this playoffs. I think they're a team that folks want to play right now in the playoffs. That's sad to say. And I also, to take it a step further than what Rel said, they had the number one seed to start the year before Phoenix was even going off. And they were like the hottest team. They thought Golden State was going to compete with them winning 73 games again, the way it started. And now Golden State can go as low as probably 5 in the standings. So that shows you how far they fell. I don't think that they have a chance this year at all. I think, like I said, everybody wants to play them. Steph Curry's not going to be healthy. Klay Thompson is not looking like the consistent Klay. And Draymond Green is just trying to get his feet wet right now. And I think they're in trouble. So,
but they got All-Star Andrew Wiggins though.
Yeah, All-Star Andrew Wiggins that hasn't looked like anything like an All-Star since he's made the All-Star team.
Well, that might have been the worst All-Star pick in history, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, Golden State. I guess you try to reach that 2-3 seed just to possibly play them. So I don't know, man. I think they're easy out. I really think the only tough squad, or I guess squad that has a chance to do something major is the Phoenix Suns. Other than that, the rest of the West is just a toss-up. Like, let's see who gets hot and let's see who can beat who.
Yeah, shout out to the Phoenix Suns, man. Devin Booker has been on a tear these last couple of games, man. What, 46 last night?
49 it was, wasn't it?
49. Yeah, Devin Booker has been on a tear, and he's been able to step in and carry the load until the floor general got back, and he came back and looked like he didn't miss anything. So Phoenix is on a tear, too.
Yeah, and Devin did that against the MVP favorite last year, MVP, too.
Yeah. Hey, and Devin said, "Hey, throw my name in this hat." And we're gonna talk a little bit about the MVP race too. I know you guys have some interesting things to say about that. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and segue into it. Lately, the MVP race has been fluctuating. Some names are being disrespected. Some names are jumping ahead of people that they shouldn't. And I know we've had this conversation off the air. But I wanted to just bring a little light to it. Memphis. I'm just going to throw Memphis in there real quick. Memphis is in the number 2 seed. Memphis is 16-2 without their MVP candidate, without their superstar.
Daryl, can you say that one more time for the people at home?
Memphis, in case you didn't hear me, Memphis is 16-2 without their star. Ja Morant. Other teams without their stars, I want to say, have losing records without their superstars in the lineup throughout the season. So not taking anything away from the Memphis team, so to say. They're a very well-oiled team. They're a young team, up-and-coming team. Up-and-coming so much that they're in second place in the Western Conference. I wouldn't have thought that at the beginning of the year. So I want to talk about Memphis, more so Ja Morant standing in the MVP race and him leapfrogging certain names, and more so Luka Doncic, him leapfrogging him, and just touching on that subject in general. So I want to get you guys' opinion. I'm going to start it off and say, I don't think if your team has a winning record without you, your value to that team is not in question, so to say, but you got to kind of look at it and be like, hey, well, maybe he shouldn't be so high. Well, he shouldn't be so high on the MVP ladder because your team is excelling, like not just keeping afloat, but they're excelling without you on the floor, and they're not missing anything. Like Dylan Brooks has come back and played excellent. Desmond Bane hasn't missed a beat. Even Tyus Jones coming in off the bench, having the best assist to turnover ratio in the league coming in to this season. He has the best assist to turnover ratio. Tyler Jenkins got them balling. So it kind of questions what are they actually looking at when it comes to the MVP race?
That's the
What
question.
are they measuring? Because you're 16-2, and other teams are kind of flying under the radar without their superstar on the floor. So I really don't think that he should be as high as he is. My opinion, he's it's more hype than anything. Not taking away from his skill. I love Ja Morant. I've been watching Ja Morant since before Murray State. But this season, his ceiling has jumped through the roof off of hype highlights. There's some statistical categories that some of these MVP candidates are better than him at. Um, and we can touch on that a little bit as well, but that's just my opinion. So, Rev, you want to tackle it first? Want to hear what you got to say about it?
Nah, go ahead, King. What heard you guys say, bro? Before I get my opinion on all
You
this.
just y'all just passed the ball around, huh? Just kept handing it off. But yeah, I feel like recently John Morant, it's turned around. The media opinion, I feel like, especially with them going 16-2 now. I saw in the last MVP ranking that he was like 6, I believe, like behind Luka and behind Jason Tatum. I felt like it was out of hand, like you were saying earlier in the year, and the media wasn't, I feel like, doing their job. Like, I feel like they didn't watch games. Like the average fan, for some reason, it's like, how do you guys not know this? This is simple. But it seemed to have turned around, and he deserves his All NBA first team spot. I do think he's going to get that with ease, him and Luka. But my opinion on MVP actually has changed. I'm going with Jason Tatum if they can get the number 1 seed. I think Jason Tatum should get it. I think that's the way it's switched around completely. And I know it's crazy that whole narrative works that way because we just talked about Luka being out of shape the beginning part of the season and how it hurt his narrative. But it didn't hurt Boston's narrative as far as Jason Tatum being hot for the second half of the season. But with all that being said, Luka's had he's had a tough patch at a moment where you shouldn't have a tough patch with him having that early struggle. So with Jason Tatum doing what he's doing, and you said he's only a game behind first place, and they're the hottest team in the league right now. I think Jason Tatum and the MVP still up for grabs. Like everybody at the top is still shaky. It's not like grabbed by even Joel Embiid, Joker, Giannis. None of them have grabbed it. So if Jason Tatum gets the Boston Celtics the number 1 seed, it's Jason Tatum.
All right, fellas. Let me give y'all. That's why I would let both of y'all go first, man, so I can kind of hear what y'all said before I start going in. So this is my thing. Daryl, you touched the nail on the head on this one, man. The thing I call this lazy media takes. Like you said, when we talked about Ja being 16-2, why is it that guys like us who are making $2.15 an hour plus tips can find out this type of information? You work for ESPN and Fox, and you cannot look this up. You are the ones who are voting for these people, and you can't find something as simple as that. Because if your team is better, matter of fact, if y'all saw the number, they're better offensively and defensively. They're both better defensively and offensively efficient numbers with Ja not in the game.
Yeah,
how are your numbers better when your number 1 guy is not in the game? And on top of that, the fact that you are 16-2. If anybody should get an award off their team, it's the coach. Should be getting coach of the year. That's what we should be talking about. Not Ja being in the conversation for MVP, but the coach being coach of the year. That's what we should be talking about. So, the way y'all, like I said, when I just looked at the standings and what King just said, I gotta kind of agree with King. Because I was kind of one of those people like, wait, how the word did Jason Tatum jump Luka when Luka has beaten him head to head twice? And all of a sudden he wasn't even in the conversation until like this week. You know what I'm saying? In the NBA playoff starts tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And so I was sitting there like, why the world is he in the conversation? Like, okay, now y'all really hating on Luka now. But then what King just said, I had to kind of think for a second. You know what? You're right. If you can, this team was pretty much in the same boat as Dallas.
Yeah.
We've been parallel all year long as far as our superstar kind of showing up late, our records. Both team defenses finally turned it on after the year started in January. All that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so for Tatum to do what he's doing, to lead this team to now a game behind for the first place. Now I understand it's in the East, damn all that. For you to put yourself as a team that was in the play-in to now being a number one seed in the East,
Yeah.
look, man, and I think now too, Jason Tatum deserves it, bro.
Yeah.
Because just like Luka, Jason Tatum has been getting done in by the media, man, for different narratives. We already talked about this a million times. The fact that he's lost 30 million because of narratives, and like I said, bro, the media kills me, man, with these lazy takes, bro. That's the part that kills me. It's like, bro, you control people's pretty much their livelihoods with your votes.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence, bro, and actually do your homework. All you do is get paid to watch a game and talk about it. That's all you do. We don't get paid for this. You get paid for that, and you don't want to. Now, if any of y'all went to work, was getting paid for a job, and just half-ass did it, what would happen to y'all?
Fire.
You can't.
Like,
Game
Fire.
over.
your
Yeah.
job, man,
Game
is to
over.
sit
You lose.
there and make sure that you are doing your due diligence. Man, look, you have the resources to find out. Hey, man, if these guys are the MVP candidates, let's break them down each. Because we've seen so many people on Twitter, like I said, who don't get paid for this, sit here and can tell you, hey, man, but out of all five of these candidates, Luka has the best record against all five of them. You know, or hey, if you take jobs this team, they're 16-2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like just simple stuff like that. It's just like, come on, bro. Like, do your due diligence. That's your job. And it would be jumping up and down if people actually did their damn job, bro. That's the part that gets me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and they have all the resources, like you say, real. They got all the resources in the world to be able to do anything.
And Daryl,
And
I'm
to
telling you, if
find
we
out
had
that,
the resources like these people, man, we'd be killing right now, bro.
oh
We'd
yeah,
be
for
killing
sure.
right now.
We got the finger roll of facts on our team already, man. You know, and if we
Hey, you
had
getting paid for that, man?
the
You getting paid for
resources,
your stats, man.
yeah,
Need to start paying you, man, because you
they
doing better
need
than
to.
ESPN.
Dude,
They need to, man.
I see them talking about D Book too. Though I'm gonna show him some love. D Book does deserve some conversation in the MVP. But Phoenix is another team that can win without either one of their guys. So
They're showing it right now.
yeah, that's why I love D Book, and he should be a second team All NBA player. But just think Phoenix is a beast right now, just in general, and that's why folks have them as a favorite to win the championship. Without that crazy favorite of the Nets for some reason, but um, Phoenix is just a good team. So that's my problem with D Book being the MVP. But I really think it's Jason Tatum. Like it has that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that the MVP, we're now 9 days away or 9 games away from the end of the season, 8 games, and it's still a possibility for multiple people to get it. So it still was a chance for Luka. I just wish he would have took it serious. But we talk NBA, so Jason Tatum, it's
So,
all yours.
to date, do you guys feel like this is the closest MVP race, like in
Yeah,
recent
ever.
time?
Yeah, because it's
It's
changing like every day.
It's probably ever. It's
Yeah.
about 4 or 5 people that have a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's probably the closest ever.
It's
For
not one of
sure.
those races where we heard like back in December, this person is the MVP favorite, and he
Yeah.
like literally won it throughout the whole entire year, no matter what nobody else did. No. It's this guy. This is the first time was like you said, like King said, the ladder is constantly changing every day. Because now all of a sudden now Tatum is in it. Tatum
Yeah.
was like the 7th on the ladder for about 2 months,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden now he's top 5 now, and so. Yeah, this is probably the tightest, man. And like King said, every last one of those candidates have a legit reason on why they should be MVP. You have numbers, analytics, all that stuff, man, that can back up why they should be MVP.
For sure, man. Okay, so I want to talk about something else that came up this week in the league that's probably very special to y'all, or that y'all have a lot to say about. Uh, we're gonna talk about Carl Anthony Towns, dubbing himself the best shooting big man of all time, or the best shooting big man out there. My opinion, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. He's not. He's not. He's great at shooting. He's a good big man shooter. He won a 3-point shooting contest. But you with it was very to me. I'm just gonna stop being PC because I'm trying to keep it PC and I'm not gonna keep it PC. It was very audacious to put yourself ahead of Dirk Nowitzki. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't know if Cat has been living under a rock or he didn't do his homework or he didn't watch YouTube tapes or whatever. I don't know. But Dirk Nowitzki is the best shooting big man I've ever seen in my life. And there's no question. Cats, you could feel your career could end tomorrow, and you gonna either be arguably 2 or 3, but I don't think you'll ever be 1, and that's just my opinion. So, King Rev, I know I'm gonna pass this rock to y'all and just go ahead and set the people straight with this one.
Whoever you want to go.
Yeah, let me do this. So, like you said, Daryl, it is not just because we Mad fans. As a basketball fan, come on, bro. Like you have to Dirk. Just because you can shoot threes does not make you the best big man shooter of all time. Dirk did this on levels. Dirk was one of probably the best mid-range big man shooter of all time. Cat doesn't have a mid-range game. Like I said, Dirk did it on every level, man, on the floor. So for you to call yourself the best big man shooter of all time just because you can shoot threes, like come on, bro. Like Daryl just said, you're not doing your homework because obviously you didn't watch Dirk's game, and that's why I'm so glad that I see these other players of not just of yesteryear, but today also mention that too. It's like, bro, nah, hey, Cat, you nice and all that, bro, but put some respect on Dirk's name, bro. Like Dirk is the best big man shooter of all time. If it wasn't for Dirk, you wouldn't be here. And so Dirk ushered in that era of a big man shooter because when he was doing it, it wasn't popular. And now because of Dirk, you have coaches and front office guys trying to find another player like Dirk because of what Dirk did. Like I said, not just because he could shoot threes, but Dirk did it all over the floor, man. And it shows it got analytical stats that show you that Dirk is the best big man shooter of all time. There's no questions asked. He does a whole lot more than what any big man has done in the history of the NBA as far as shooting. But hey, no disrespect to Cat, but no, it's Dirk hands down, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. So I don't. My thing though is that I don't take disrespect from Cat saying it because Cat is a beast. I feel like Cat is top 3, depending on how you want to place Kevin Durant. If you place Kevin Durant as a big man, then maybe Dirk has a conversation with KD as far as being the greatest big man shooter. But other than that, Cat can't touch Dirk on a mid-range shot at all.
Nope.
As Rel was trying to highlight, as far as the 3-point shot, I know his percentage may be higher than Dirk's because he basically just settles. You shoot threes, like that's the game.
I'm not saying, but you got more attempts. So.
Yeah, it's just to shoot threes, but it's not that like Cat's not a beast. Cat's a beast at shooting. It's shooting threes, and he is a beast at the rim. But it's more than that as far as shooting. Like Dirk was a 50, 40, 90 guy, like as far as the free throw line. And then he took a bunch of mid-range jumpers. Like Rel, I felt like sold him short by calling him one of the best or just the best mid-range shooting big man. I think Dirk was possibly the best mid-range shooter of all time. Like when you look at the stats and all that follows it up. Like
numbers don't lie, bro.
You saw if you saw it within the last 20 years, I think ESPN was showing guys that scored the most at each like level, and Dirk like dominated every position in the mid range other than like the right side basically. I think KG had it. But yeah, man, Dirk is incredible, but I don't see it's not as disrespectful as folks take it. I think when Cat says it, obviously Cat believes he's a great shooter. He is a great shooter, and he wants to be the best shooter of all time, the best big man shooter. But he needs to go out there and then practice the mid range shot a little more then and start using that in this game, and then maybe have a conversation. But he's a beast of a shooter. Let me not disrespect Cat because I don't want folks to think Cat is not and that he's just talking his game and all. Like Cat puts up ridiculous numbers. Cat shoots over 40% from the 3, shooting over 8 a game like every year. So Cat's amazing, but there's levels of this, and his mid-range game does not touch Dirk's at all.
bro. You know what's funny too about that? Like, I equate what Cat is doing to what LeBron did when he kind of crowned himself the greatest of all time. Bro, you don't do that, man. Do not. You don't crown yourself, bro. You let other people do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people kind of had pull back on that too. It's like, hold on, bro, you calling yourself the greatest big man? Now when you do that, guess what? Now I gotta prove why you not.
Yeah.
Now we had to came out here and just say, you know what, Cat's the best big man. Nobody's gonna question it.
Yeah.
It's just like Jordan. Hey, Jordan's the greatest. Oh, okay. Jordan never said he was the greatest, but hey, we're saying it. Oh, okay, Jordan's the greatest. LeBron, I'm the greatest. Whoa. Let's go ahead and question what you saying about yourself.
Yeah.
You don't do something like that, bro. And so, go, game, sir.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was gonna say you don't do that. You let other folks do it that
Yeah,
way.
you let other
Right.
people do that, man.
Folks are just trying to tear you down when you say that about yourself. They're just finding
Exactly.
reasons to be like, well, I'm gonna tell you why you aren't.
Exactly. So when he said that, I was like, like I said, I went back to LeBron on that, bro. It's like you don't crown yourself, bro, and that goes along with what I've been saying about you haven't had a larger sample size. They said Dirk for 14 seasons has shot over 36% on threes.
Yeah.
Think about that. Dirk for 14 seasons shot over 36% on threes, and we're talking about in an era where they didn't shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah.
And so
How
just
long?
imagine if Dirk was attempting 11, 12 threes a game, bro, what his numbers would look like. Yeah, he'd probably have better numbers than Cat on more efficient shooting. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like I said, with that type of stuff, man, you got to think about that before you just like, I'm a great big man shooter. Like, no. Let's go back and look. Like I said, if you're actually a savant of the game, you actually study the game. Like some of these other basketball players do, like a Damian Lillard and guys like that who study the game and study these other players because they're trying to take aspects of their game from those other players. You would have known that, man.
Yeah. His
Sure.
efficiency, not to cut you off, Neil, efficiency usually goes down a little bit the more volume you take. So that's why I say I give Cat credit because he takes about 8 threes a game and he shoots over 40%. Like that's amazing for anybody to do that. How a big man, like, but the mid-range shot, like it's just he's nowhere near. Like I don't even see Cat taking mid-range jumpers like that. Like Joel
And Dirk
Embiid,
and
I
Dirk
feel
had
like
to carry more too, so that was
yeah,
another thing too.
I feel like Joel Embiid and Dirk's done it in bigger moments.
That too.
Like as far as like Cat's been in the league now, what about 8, 9 years or whatever. So he has like 40% over that time. So it's not like he can't. I think he's a great shooter. I think, like I said, if it's behind Dirk, we're not adding Kevin Durant. He's probably the best shooter behind those guys. So it's not hyperbole like crazy, but he just shouldn't have crowned himself. It was like you said, good analogy with LeBron James. LeBron is in the conversation with Jordan and all, but he shouldn't have had the conversation because everybody's going to show him how he's not Jordan.
Yeah. And so, with you mentioning Kevin Durant, that's an interesting thing. So, where would you put KD? Would you consider him the big, or would you consider him? I mean, in this age, I don't. Well, go ahead.
I'm
What
about to
would you
say
consider KD?
he plays power forward now, right? And
Yeah,
it isn't a position he plays. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, all right. I take it. I take it to this.
Technically, he's a big because he's 7 feet, but he plays more like a wing though.
Yes, but so
That's like saying is Dirk a center because he's 7 foot. It's like no, he's technically he's 7 foot like a center, but he plays power forward. You know what I
he's
mean?
not. But this is the question I'm gonna ask you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And the years when Dirk did what Dirk was doing in Dallas, could you plug in KD and have KD do what Dirk did? I believe you could. That's no disrespect.
Talking about KD of now.
I'm talking about KD right now. Like could KD play at any level of Dirk base? Like I'm not going to say obviously. I'm not talking about the championship run and having the heart and all that stuff. I'm talking about just talent for talent. I'm saying could you plug in KD to say, hey, go do what Dirk did, or whatever throughout a regular season and say you can play as Dirk? I think KD could do that. So my issue with KD is leading the team as far as like the intangibles, the stuff in the mind, as far as just getting the team over the hump. That what Dirk showed, in 2011 or whatever that he could do. I don't think KD showed that yet. But as far as ability, natural ability, like KD's a monster. Like there's things on that court that KD does that Dirk could just dream he could do, like the handle, the pull up from anywhere with a handle. That shot he made against Dallas on the 3-point line, like Dirk's not doing that, and I love Dirk. That's not a Dirk
Yeah,
shot.
Dirk didn't have handles like that. Which is why I was saying that KD played more like a wing
Yeah,
than a power forward. Yeah, right now he's at the position, but he plays more like of a wing. And so
yeah,
that's why I say it's kind of with him it's kind of hard because technically you can say because he's 7 feet,
yeah.
but he didn't actually truly play that position. He was more of a wing. The only reason why he's playing that position now because we're moving more towards power forwards being able to handle the ball and shoot now, with it just being one big man in the middle surrounded by wings.
I
And
remember
so,
when I remember Dirk was a small forward.
yeah,
Yeah,
Remember
I remember that too.
Dirk was a small forward for a long time. So
Yeah,
KD done started from he was a 2 guard when he first started,
yeah, I'm about to say it was 2 guard.
and then he's
But
moved
yeah,
all the way up to power forward. So Dirk moved from small forward to center, and KD moved from 2 guard to power forward. So, I mean, just because you can do something doesn't mean you aren't a big man. Like if KD can play power forward, he can play power forward doing what he does as a wing, then he's a big man. But I mean, let's not call him a big man then. To keep Dirk as the top big man, then I'm fine with that. Either way you want to put it, but KD's a big man though. Like KD
even
cook
KD
anybody.
want to be called a big man.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's lied about his height and all that stuff, because he didn't want to be categorized as a big man. He wanted to be able to go out there and do what he does now or whatever. So yeah, KD's a beast. It's just he's on a different level as far as just scorer altogether. But
yeah.
no disrespect to Dirk though, man. Dirk's a monster. I don't want people to forget the name or what he did.
Yeah, KD is on a different level. I can remember when KD came out saying he was 6'9".
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's why they put him
I
at that
really thought he
2 guard
was
position.
6'9" for the longest. I'm like, oh, okay, 6'9".
Yeah.
Remember when he came out of college, they compared him to Tracy McGrady. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was thinking like, okay, so he's 6'9" because he compared himself to Tracy. They was comparing him to Tracy McGrady. So
Once
yeah, you're
Kendrick
right.
Perkins got on this team, it was like you see he was about the same height as Kendrick Perkins. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're not 6'9".
Yeah, you're not 6'9". He didn't want that label. Let's get a couple. Go through some of these comments before we go on to the next segment. So Ben said, "Hey, what's going on, Ben?
What up, man? I know
Appreciate you
it's
for
like
tuning
evening over
in."
there for you, man.
It's
Okay,
probably late.
Ben also said Andrew Wiggins getting the All-Star, let alone starter, is the reason it means very little. I mean,
Jesus.
I feel like the All-Star voting is not what it used to be. You know, not of our yesteryear, how we enjoyed it in the 2000s when it was more. I feel like it was better then, but it's definitely not what it used to be.
Yeah,
Now,
I told
I
you.
touched on this too, man. Sorry, go ahead, King.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, because me and King talked about this before, and I told him the same thing. To me, man, the All-Star game, like you just said, Daryl, it's not the same anymore, man. It's like these people, they go out there, man. They don't really play the game like it used to play. Like we used to get really excited to watch the NBA best players go head to head and try to beat each other, like it was a pride thing. Now people make so much money, man, and they just like I'm trying to protect my brand to the point it's like they don't want to go out there and put themselves out there. You know what I'm saying? And so then they kind of treat it like, it's not important. So I'm just gonna wait until we get this. This is a vacation for me, so I'm just gonna, just kind of just go ahead and kind of mosey a little bit or whatever. And so and like now that kind of takes away from the All-Star game. Like you being an All-Star, yeah, that is important. You can add that to your resume because that's always been important to be known as an All-Star. But the actual game is just not the same anymore. I don't know when the last time I actually just sat and truly watched. This is probably the first time this All-Star game we just had. It's probably the first time I actually sat and watched a full All-Star game in a long time, bro. Because I kind of look at the All-Star games kind of like the Pro Bowl, like I was saying before. The fact that these guys, it's just like, I'm just getting a paycheck. I want to get this over with. And you can tell by the way that they're playing the games. Like I said, you got Steph Curry laying on the floor and folks just jumping on him and dunking. You would have never saw that back in the day when Jordan and Bird and Magic and all those guys were playing in the All-Star games. Or like I always bring up the '94 All-Star game when Charles Barkley won the All-Star MVP the year that the Bulls and the Suns played in the finals. That's my favorite All-Star game of all time, bro. Because that one right there felt like a true competitive game. Like dudes out there, because they were going back and forth at one point until the West ended up winning at the end and Charles Barkley won the MVP. And so, like, you don't have those type of games anymore, man, where like you're sitting on the edge of your seats and you're watching the best of the best go at it. There's no role players. There's no, that one guy, that John Paxson out there to shoot and all that stuff. It's just all. It's like, top 10 versus top 10 or whatever, or the best of the best playing at it at a high level in the game for stakes. And the stakes being your reputation. Like, look, I beat you. I'm better than you. And that's what they lived on, man. Like I said, now these dudes make so much money. They best friends. They kick it out outside of the league and all that stuff, man. It's not the same anymore, man.
Right. Right.
Yeah. My favorite was 01 personally.
Was that the
But
Jordan one?
that's the one with the camera on the low camera.
Yeah, on the floor.
On the floor.
Oh.
But
Jordan was 03, my bad.
yeah. And the issue with Andrew Wiggins for me is I have a couple issues. One, Andrew Wiggins shouldn't have been an All-Star. I think I said before that was Draymond Green's spot. The reason that somehow the Golden State Warriors fans got him included as well, Andrew Wiggins. And my gripe again is with the media because it's like a propaganda thing. I remember Luka's first year, not to keep harping on the Mavs. I know we talk Mavs over here, but Luka's first year, Luka was like second in votes and All-Star votes from the fans and all. But the media and all still made sure that he didn't make the All-Star game. At the end of the day. And, I thought he should have been an All-Star the first year, but I kind of understood it. I was like, okay, you know what? Pay his dues. I understand what the media and them are saying. How did the media and all still allow Andrew Wiggins to slip through the cracks and become a starter? I will not understand. I don't understand how, there's been times where they changed the rules up. Like, the reason that the fan vote was not supposed to matter was because they gave the media votes to try to make up for mistakes like Yao Ming starting without even playing the game, or I think one year Zaza Pachulia was almost a starter or something like that because of the fans doing weird stuff. Where you can't decide to just pick people. But for the media to still allow Andrew Wiggins to make the All-Star game, I tell you guys all the time, I know I shouldn't be worried about individual awards. I should worry about the championship and things like that. But it hurts these guys' careers, and I'm watching it happen, and it really bothers me. And I think, Rel, you've leaned on the side of that as well now of saying that it's like the media has too much control over these guys' lives, and it sucks to watch. Like I said, Luka now he's a 2-time All-Star, and that's okay. I'm sorry, a 3-time All-Star, and that's okay.
I say, put some respect on that, King.
But his resume should be a 4-time All-Star. He should have never missed the All-Star game in his career. Yeah. But you're supposed to be okay with that and say, okay, I understand why he didn't. But now watching Andrew Wiggins get one, and now his label is bust. It's completely gone now. And not to say he should be considered a bust, but he shouldn't have got the All-Star game this year to get that label removed from him. So it is what it is. I just hate that the media has so much control, and I just watched them destroy people. Jason Tatum talked about it, as Ralph said it before. It sucks. It sucks to see that they can control millions of dollars. It sucks to see that they can control narratives. It sucks to see they can control how a person's career just goes out. Like back to the Ja Morant thing. For Ja to get way more hype, to be on TV more, to be talked about than like a Luka right now is ridiculous. Seeing what Luka Doncic is doing, and it makes you feel like the media just isn't paying attention on purpose. So I don't know what to say, man. Like right now, the NBA is in a spot where I just hope, Adam Silver can continue to be the best commissioner he has been. I feel like he's the best commissioner of all time of any sport. And I hope he continues to make the game better because he has been making, strides every year. So I believe stuff will change.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, like you said, that they get to control the people's livelihoods. Like, there's certain contract incentives that players have to meet, certain walls that they have to get, certain accolades they got to get to be able to get those incentives. Mm-hmm. And when a vote or two can change whether the difference between 5 million or 2.5 million or not get the million at all, that's messing with their families, that's messing with their pockets, their livelihoods, all of that. And like you say, it is crazy that they have that type of power. I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember it being like this in the early 2000s, the 98s. I know the league has changed a lot over the years, but I don't remember the media being so influential in deciding all of these things back then.
No, it's a different age. Social media. So they
Yeah,
got to go with the media because it's social media. Because everybody's checking up on social media and all. So you got to have media figures that actually represent that. So different day and
and
age.
yeah, and like you said, I've said this a million times too. We live in a microwave society, man.
Yeah.
It's now because there's so much access to all this stuff, man. It's just that people's opinions change like just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like King just said, Jason Tatum now all of a sudden just pop out of nowhere. Now I haven't heard his name for the last 2 3 months. Literally haven't heard his name for the last 2 3 months until now. And it's because we live in this society now, man, where everybody's attention span is so quick, man. It's like, okay, Ja was a hot guy. Okay, I'm tired of Ja. This guy now. I'm tired of this guy now. This guy. I'm tired of this guy now. This guy. And it's like there's no
Yeah,
consistency, man, with people's opinions anymore. Because you can like this, like I said, you can like this guy today and then like somebody else tomorrow. And so if you like this, that's gonna hurt that person right there that you liked yesterday because he's been good all year because he's not hot no more. I'm gonna talk about this guy. Now this guy's gonna be an MVP candidate because everybody's talking about this guy. And I think that the media falls into that trap too. Or should I say the media starts that trap because they're the ones who push out those narratives for people to have those opinions on. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the part that gets me, man. It's just we've seen it so many times, and like you said, Daryl. Now, like you said, maybe I'm being naive too. I don't remember it being like this back in the early 2000s, and I think a lot of that has to do with because social media is becoming very prevalent in our society today. So I guess it is what it is, man. That's where guys like us got to come in, man, and try to help push certain the true narratives out there, man, and continue to keep talking about the stuff that's actually meaningful out here, man. Because if we don't, you're gonna have a bunch of Kendrick Perkins out here, man, who just live in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta try to combat that type of stuff.
It's the gift and the curse, man. It's a
It
gift and
really
a
is.
curse. It's
it
the
is.
it's the gift of the old guys didn't have to go through this. Like I don't care what anybody says. Jordan and them love they didn't have to go through social media. Like
Oh yeah.
it's
You
another
didn't hear
step.
about
It's
Jordan
just
and them until Sunday morning newspaper.
exactly like every little game. So Jordan could go basically a week and he had to give you 3 out of 5 performances being great, and it's okay. Like guys like LeBron, Luca, KD, they have to go almost every game being
Every
excellent
game.
because they're going to get criticized on social media if they make a mistake. Um, that's the gift of it. But then the curse, as you say as well, is then you got guys, on media, on TV that's just making stories up and all because they're part of social media, and that's how the stories get around now. But it's just it's going to be. I'm gonna tell you guys one thing. This All NBA voting, it's about 8 guys in the league right now that's about on the same level. That's in that, like we said, MVP range, like guys looking good. Only 5 guys can make All NBA first team.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of folks mad when that first team comes out, or that just them votes in general with the media coming out, because now, like we just talked about Jason Tatum. If Jason Tatum is possibly the MVP right now, he's now a forward on the All NBA spot, which means then you got who's the other guy? We got Giannis now, as I said, and then your
LeBron,
centers.
KD.
Yep, LeBron, KD can't make it. Or I guess they got to be down there. Then your centers, one of those guys, both of those guys are up for MVP, and one of them are going to make All NBA second team again instead of being on the first team. So it's rough that the media has to do it, but
It's rough. It is rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Okay.
Steph Curry, like you said, going to make second team probably.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan, after all, is probably going to make second team. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, let's dig through a few more of these comments before we move on. Guys being silly lately, all of a sudden pushing D Book for MVP over Jokic or Embiid. Okay.
Joker
He's not
falling
too.
off. I'm
Yeah,
telling
Joker.
Joker kind of. I know his numbers and all look good, but Denver got to win, and they might be 7th seed. They not even like taking control and fighting for a higher seed. They're now fighting the lower seed now because they've been falling. So
Yeah, they a game ahead in the loss column on Minnesota.
yeah, so
Right now.
I think Joker basically is kind of. I don't think Joker should win it. Like I think Joker's kind of fell off.
I just don't see why he's flirting with the 7 seed, the pretty much a play in, and he's in the conversation.
He got the greatest PER ever. His numbers are technically the greatest numbers ever.
But you're way below everybody else that's on that ladder, though. That makes no sense. Now they always talk about winning, but I guess it
changes.
Goalpost again. Yeah, I guess it's the goalpost again because for him it don't matter for winning, but for Luka it does. I'm so confused. Like, so is it winning important or not? Like
Steph Curry last year. I keep going back to that. Steph Curry last year, second place, didn't make the playoffs. So
so like I said, I don't know, man. There's no definitive definition of an MVP anymore. Because I heard Devin Booker kind of say, like, yo, I'm the best player in this team, and my team is number one. Mm-hmm. Technically, that's not what an MVP is. Because, like King said, we put Chris Paul in that position and take D Book out. Where's Phoenix end up? Probably in the same position.
Yeah.
And so that's not what an MVP is, man. An MVP is a guy that if you take this guy off this team, how much does that, like LeBron, we can say LeBron's MVP every year. If you took LeBron off the Cleveland Cavaliers, look what the Cleveland Cavaliers are right now. Well, not right now, but other than this year, they were in the lottery every year. That's what an MVP does. That one player can elevate a whole entire team that's supposed to be a team that's not even supposed to be in the playoffs or barely making the playoffs. Or what Chris Paul did. He elevated Phoenix last year to being a Western Conference contender.
Yeah.
When that team was a bottom feed for the last like 10, 11, 12, 13 years. That's what an MVP is, man. Not because, this guy over here putting up a lot of points and his team is it's pretty good. They're number one in whatever conference they're in. And it's like, well, that team is pretty good without him. Memphis, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's not what an MVP is. Oh, you know what? Ja Ballin, he is a guy that's being hyped this year. Team number 2, he MVP. It's like if you take him off that team, it's 16-2. That's not what an MVP is. But like I said, the definition of what an MVP changes every year, bro. So,
bro, that's
definitely
before we go to bro, that's my issue with the MVP in general. I think they should set a goalpost, like you said. Like it needs to be some type of rule of how to be MVP. And the reason I feel that we don't know what the MVP is because of the media. Yep. The issue with the media is that the media should be given, like you guys just said earlier. There are guys, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, guys that should be MVP every year because we know if you take that guy off the team, he is the most influential player in the league to wins. Like we know who those players are. But because the media is allowed to have a media fatigue, which does not make sense, how can you get fatigue? How can you get tired of seeing somebody be so great that you can take an award from them? And we allow it, and it's something that's said it's something that's like a regular comment that we just say, okay, it's media fatigue. It's media fatigue. Why is media fatigue allowed? If Giannis should have been the MVP for the last 4 years, Giannis should be the MVP the last 4 years. There's no find someone else to change. Like that's Giannis's resume that you're changing because you're saying you're fatigued. That makes no sense.
King, to back, I mean, to echo what you just said, you remember when I told y'all in the last video, I talked about the reason why they voted Jokic last year. They wanted to give it to Embiid, but because Embiid got hurt, I guess we'll give it to Jokic. This is what one of the national media guys who vote said on a podcast. Yeah. And it's like, if you think that Embiid's the MVP, then give him the MVP. Give him the MVP. He got hurt. It was like a week, 4 weeks left. I guess we'll give it to this guy over here. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I say when they're being lazy when it comes to this, because you're playing with, like Durant said, you're playing with people's money. You're playing with people's money with that type of attitude. You just cost Jason Tatum $30 million because, like, nobody's talking about him enough. We're talking about this guy over here, so we're not going to vote for you. It's like, bruh,
crazy.
They did Clay the same way.
Yeah, they did Clay the same way for sure.
Just had to add it in there. Just had to add that in there.
Oh, but you see, I mean, now,
but it's the truth.
No, you're right though.
This not even top 75. You see now though that Clay going through injuries and all. So he was supposed to get his bag back then. Now you messing with his bag now because he probably not gonna get that bag again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one Clay supposed to be on the all NBA team that 1 year.
He was that 1 year. Yeah, he did make the third team, and then he ended up missing $30 million, whatever. The same thing. Yep.
Yep. That's
I think that was
exactly
the year
what
they won
happened.
the 70-something games. Maybe the year after.
I
Like he
think it
didn't make.
was 72-10.
He
Yeah,
didn't
I
win.
think so.
They didn't. He didn't make it, and he was pissed off. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, let's see. Euro Chuck Norris says if Dallas has another first round exit, I'm sorry. If I was Cuban, I would put Luca on the spot and tell his to get in shape day one. None of this slow start and not being in game shape.
Yeah. If Dallas loses in the first round again, I like this whole team. I'm telling you, other than Luka Doncic, like if I want Nico to blow it all up, like I need a new squad. That if they lose in the first round again, I'm that serious. Like this team, there's no way they can do it again this year. They have to, and I know that's big pressure put on the team's shoulders and all that to go ahead and win the first round series, but they got to. And if like I said, if they don't, then why are we playing with the same melody over and over again? You feel me? The same song. Let's stop playing it and let's just switch it up. Then I'm done. Like we need a new squad.
For sure. Okay. Let's see. Ben says, talk your Israel. Cook these mofos, marinate and grill these foods. Lots of people would love to be journalists, yet they can't do the basic research to be good. Deserve to be fired.
Amen, Ben. Like I said, that's your job. If you
Yeah.
was working at, say, you working at McDonald's and you ain't making no burgers, then what you here for? You know what I'm saying?
For
It's
sure.
like I don't get it, bro. Like I said, I see people who don't work as media journalists go on here every day on Twitter, man, and can feed you the information that these guys have the resources to do themselves, man. Like you actually got statisticians on your squad that can give you the stuff that you need. Like you don't have to even take time to ask them to give you the stats that you need. You just like, you know what? Yeah, Jai is the greatest of all time. He better than Jordan. It's like, come on, man. Like, do your job, bro.
Bro, what you got in your ears right now?
What you mean?
Headphones, right?
Yeah,
That's what those guys have in their ears most of the time. Stephen A. Smith
yeah,
and all that. They
yeah.
don't. They don't. They don't even watch the shows. They have stat guys that watch the shows for them and in their ears talking to them, telling them the stats of what happened and all on the shows. They don't watch all the games. You can look at their Twitter and all and tell what games they watch. So like when
Yeah,
the Mavs are
that's a good
playing a late
point.
night game, I'll like go through everybody's Twitter, the main guys, the Skips, the Shannons, to see who was watching the actual game. Because they'll talk on it when they're watching the game.
Hmm.
When they don't talk on it, they probably haven't watched the game. Because if it's crazy information that happened in the game or a crazy scene that happened and you saw it, why wouldn't you say anything on your page? You understand what I'm saying?
Damn, that's a
So
good point.
I then go to the show and him talking about it. I'm like, you didn't watch the game. I can hear exactly what they're saying, but like you didn't watch the game. You're just talking to somebody that was told something afterwards, either watch highlights or was told something, and then you're going off of it. And they have people in their ears. That's why they usually have like the stats from before the last game. So they'll include stats up to that game and not include that game in the stats they're saying, so their numbers will be off or something like that. Like these guys aren't watching games, man. They just paid to be media. And my issue is that if you haven't seen it, do not talk on it because
Thank
you
you.
are now the representation of it. Just say I didn't see it, or do your research better, or start watching the teams that possibly are winning and doing hot stuff and change the way you do things then. But do not talk on these teams when you do not watch them.
So pretty much you saying don't do like Skip Bayless who sit there and lie every day on TV and says, "Oh, I watched the whole entire game and this
Yep.
and that and this happened." It's like,
Yep.
bro, you didn't watch the game.
Skip, Stephen A. I've caught Shannon not watching the game as far as the stuff he says. It's all these guys. Like if you're a fan of a team, and I know it's not just us, it's probably other teams as well. When they watch these guys talk about their teams, so that's a good point I'm about to give. As far as like watching the media, like if I didn't know any better as far as watching John Morant or something like that, I would think, oh my God, we're watching the best player of all time right now, the way they talk about him. The way Max Kellerman stays putting him on his top list and all saying about a fast twitch. The same Max Kellerman that kept riding for Zion Williamson and now wants to make up for that because Zion had a fast twitch or something like that. But for some reason keeps putting guys above Luka Doncic. And I'm like, you haven't learned that yet. But he's just trying to play the oddball. So it's just that they have so much, connection and so much just their word means so much. I hate that. So I hate that so much because folks are just following their message. So whatever they say is basically gospel. And I hate that for the
And
casual
that's
fan.
all That's all it's about. That's all it's about too, man. It's about the hot take.
Yeah.
That's all they do. Like I said, they can sit here and say some outlandish, and people go for it, man, because it's a hot take.
Yep.
Nobody looks at, you know what I'm saying. Nobody. They don't have people who give you insightful opinions anymore, like they did back in the day, man. And so, like I said, now that's why you got a lot of people at ESPN, especially not for. I've said it before. Football, they got it on lock. Like if I would listen to those guys, I can value their opinion a little bit more, man, because they bring some type of an insight to the game. You know, they stats, all this old stuff. They don't do that with NBA. Like I said, they say something real quick and they stick with that. Yeah, Josh better than Jordan. I'm sticking with it. You can't move me. Like, well, Jordan got 6 rings. That don't mean anything. Josh can jump or whatever. You know, it's just like
It
well,
sounds crazy. It really
yeah.
does. It sounds entirely stupid, to be honest. Let's see. Next, Dirk had an elite mid range, 50+% from all over the semicircle. Yeah,
Yep.
bad man. That's a bad
Listen,
man.
they. I
Bad
know.
man.
I know people see this guy as like this little wholesome guy. Everybody loves him. He's funny. You know, he's real nice and all that. If you have not seen Dirk's game, I mean, truly seen Dirk's game, I'm sorry. As a fan who grew up and watched this man his whole entire career, to see his elevation, to see him evolve as the game has evolved, man, Dirk was special, man.
Yeah.
Dirk was special. Like people don't really truly know Dirk's game, man, that well because he wasn't a high flyer, he wasn't a dunker, none of that stuff. It wasn't nothing pretty about his game. He was just a shooter in an era where it wasn't sexy to shoot. We want to see you cross somebody over and dunk on people, and Dirk wasn't doing that. But Dirk wasn't doing that. But him doing it the way he did it led to winning. Didn't have a big three, didn't have a super team. Like I said, he was carrying this mouse and his phone to the playoffs every year, winning 50 games. And so that's why, as a basketball fan, I love the hell out of Dirk because Dirk was one of the best at his purest form of the game. He was all about the skill. He was all about determination. Like I said, they led with this guy soft, but this dude can drop. He was dropping 30 on some of the most toughest defenders. I remember they were calling Dirk soft the year they played the Denver Nuggets in the second round. Denver at that time was considered the most physical, toughest team in the league. The dude was averaging 34 and 11 on these dudes. To say that
Yeah.
this most physical defensive team in the league, and he's soft, why is he averaging 34 and 11? Now, if you would have called KP soft, I can see that because KP would go out there and get muscled and only give you like 10 points.
Yeah.
There was none of that in Dirk's game. Dirk was played in an era where dudes can still continue to be physical with you in the paint. It was still dropping 30 on cats' heads. The Kevin Garnett's, the Duncans, all these guys still putting 30 on their heads. So that's why I say, man, if you didn't truly watch Dirk coming up, man, I'm sorry, but that dude was a beast, man. And that's not just for me being a Mavs fan. That's me being a basketball fan, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to second that. You know what I'm saying? I watched him from the outside, and that was a bad man. That's a bad man. And they can't know
The most
I don't
underrated, bro. I'm sorry, most
yeah.
underrated.
I can't let nobody take that from him. Like just as a basketball fan, that was a bad man. Just watching how he dominated that mid range and that I love his fadeaway. That silhouette is stuck in my mind forever. Like
Yeah.
there's not very many that you can look at and be like, okay, that's Dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna see that and you gonna be like, okay, that's Dirt. You can look at certain people's games, those people that studied the game, those students of the game. You can tell that they took certain pieces of their game from Dirt.
Yeah.
Like that was a bad man, bro. Like I don't think he gets enough credit in that era, like the era that he played in, like with the Duncans, the Garnetts. That was a battle every
Yes.
day. That was a battle every day, and he played in a physical era of basketball, like you said, real. And we just mentioned the Duncan and Garnett, but there were other power forwards that were real physical, like you were saying. I want to say when they was playing, it wasn't Kenyon Martin the one that was the
Yep.
physical one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
K,
He was on
if
that. He was on that
anybody
Nugget team.
Yeah, he was on that
if
dinner thing.
anybody know Kenyon Martin, that man played physical all the time,
Mm-hmm.
every time. And there were other forwards that were just physically imposing during that time, and Dirk held his own. If not, he it was games where I was watching and it was like, okay, this man came to play. He dominating and can't nobody stop him. You can throw 4 or 5 elbows in his back and he's still gonna bag you down and fade and knock it down with ease. Like it didn't phase him. You know, and I'm gonna speak from a non-Maverick fan, a non-Dallas person. If you want to go do some research, type his name into YouTube and look forward to a show because that was a bad man.
Dirk, man, it's a couple of things about Dirk. You ever watch David West talk about Dirk? Before you ever see him talk about David West, when they ask him who's his most difficult coverage or person to cover, he says Dirk with ease. He says, I knew what to do with Tim Duncan. I even knew what to do with Kevin Garnett. He said, but Dirk was just a different beast. I didn't know what to do. And I feel like Dirk, with him being humble, kind of hurts himself because I feel like I always say to my other friends, I wish Dirk would talk more. Like I wish Dirk would go out there and talk his trash and actually, talk his numbers about what he did out there, but he doesn't. And when you talk about guys like
everybody love him.
Yeah, and when you talk about guys like KG and Tim Duncan and those guys are great. You got conversations about them where they fit as far as greatest power forward ever. Obviously, we call Tim Duncan the greatest ever, but none of them have impacted the game like Dirk has. None of them. The game now is a Dirk Nowitzki game. Like this would have been, like Dirk would have been arguably the best player in the NBA at this point if Dirk was playing in the league. Like because the game has changed. That's why Europeans now are dominating the league because of Dirk Nowitzki and all. So, man, Dirk was just a different breed. I remember, like, we're talking about Cat. We're talking about Cat getting punked by guys. We're talking about Cat getting choked by Ben Simmons in the huddle. We're talking about Cat with Jimmy Butler and stuff like that. There were times back in the day when they were talking about Bruce Bowen to get under Dirk's skin. And Dirk went from just shooting mid-range shots to saying, I'm going to add a post game to you, bro. I'm going to show you that I can back you in. Stuff we looked at KP doing. I'm like, KP, when you going to get that? When you going to finally learn how to do that? Dirk went and took one summer, came back and said, I got a post game in my repertoire now. Played the guys in 06. That little move against Bruce Bowen where Manu Ginobili came over and fouled him at the end. Everybody thought it was going to be a straight jump shot. Dirk said, no, I'm going to take it to the rim. Get the and one, and we end up going to the finals that year to beat Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals. So Dirk was a different breed, man. His championship is arguably the most, impactful, difficult, other than probably Houston's back in 96 or whatever. I mean, what is it,
92.
95.
94.
It was 95. It was 95. The second
95.
one. Where they came in up to 60 or something like that. Maybe that one would be the other most difficult championship between those two. I feel like that's it. And Dirk didn't have a Clyde Drexler beside him. So
nope.
Yeah, I just think Dirk is a different beast. I wish he would talk more. I got a question for you, bro. When him and Dwayne Wade goes into the Hall of Fame the same year, who's the last guy? Who's the guy that's going in last?
Man, probably D Wade because he's more a media favorite.
You think D Wade is higher on the totem pole as far as a player than Dirk is? No. I don't think so.
Don't. Not just because of the rivalry with Miami. It's just Dirk is. I know we throw this term generational around. Dirk is really a generational player.
Yeah.
Generational players are people who change the game. Steph is a generational player. He's changed the game. Jordan is a generational player. He's changed the game. LeBron changed the game. These players changed the game. What part of the game has D Wade changed?
Yeah, I mean you're right, but I could throw the same conversation about Tim Duncan, but Tim's still better than Dirk. So it is. I do put Dirk higher than Dwayne Wade though. I think because the major thing about it is that I know they say Dwayne Wade is Mr. Miami, but Dirk is Mr. Dallas as far as that. Like he never gave his spot away. Like even when he was trying to give his spot away, it was still Dirk's. Like late in his career, Harrison Barnes, Monte Ellis's and all, he was still Mr. Dallas. Wade was able to give away his Mr. Miami because of injuries and things like that to another guy and still win championships. So that's my take on why Dirk is still Mr. 50 wins every year, no matter what it is, compared to Dwayne Wade struggling and all when he didn't have another guy other than that 1 year. But Dwayne Wade's won finals. I know I hate the refs and all, but if we just go strictly on the numbers, that was one of the greatest finals of all time. But I feel like it was a little exaggerated because of the referees. But that was stupid for him to be that young.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What's the next comment? When you preemptively call yourself great, you look like a bum in comparison to who you say you're comparing yourself with. Cat is Cat as good as he is hasn't done much in sports yet. He needs to pipe down.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get on the street. Minnesota is now in a position that they haven't been in, since what Jimmy Butler left.
That 1 year.
That 1 year, and this is probably like the second time in Cat's career where he's looking at a playoff stint and could catapult himself into a different stratosphere and change the narrative about his game and who he is. So that confidence is one of those things that'll definitely get you there. But yeah, he still has a little more to prove, in my opinion. He's great. Don't get me wrong. Cat's a beast. He can't touch him on a lot of stuff, but he still has a ways to go.
Yeah. What ways to go? Cat isn't there yet. Like, you just sniffing playoffs again. But this again, we talked about it on We Talk Mavs, cheap plug. About this is Pat Bev. This is all Pat Bev.
Yes.
That's why I'm not even.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with you on that. I said this on the show.
I don't knock it. We're talking about Cat here, about something, saying he's the best at something or he's tough and all that stuff. And there's no not. That's awesome. Like, Cat deserves it because Cat's an awesome player. This is all Pat Bev though. Like, this is the team, like, culture changing around. So I know it's crazy and it's something that shouldn't be said, but it's awesome watching Cat actually try to praise himself and go out there and say that he's one of the best centers in the league, which he is.
Yeah, for sure. And he's I have to agree. It definitely is Pat Bev. Bill came in and changed the whole.
Please stop cussing, Daryl. Please. Man.
He changed the whole. He changed the climate of their locker room, bro. Like they playing with some oomph about themselves now. Yeah. So
I told, it's funny you said that, Daryl. I told King that the first time we played, well, not the first time, but we played them on, what was it, Monday?
Yeah.
And I told King that, I said, bro, it's funny how Pat Bev has come in here, just one little tiny ant come in here, bro, and just change the complete culture. Something that Jimmy Butler couldn't do. This role player comes in here and do this, man. Like, you can tell that his presence pretty much just oozes all over this team. I ain't never seen Cat out here flexing and all this old stuff, talking down and just talking noise. I seen D-Lo doing it. I'm just like, what is going on out here? And then I'm like, Pat. It's Pat Bev. This dude came in here and just complete this one player, one role player toward the end of his career comes in here and changes the complete dynamic of this whole entire team, bro. That's crazy to me. And we all thought Pat Bev was done after he left the Clippers.
Those teams like that need veteran leadership, and he's a veteran. He's a scrappy veteran. He's a veteran that knows his role, know what he can bring to the table. Everybody knows that Pat Bev is an irritant. Like, he's gonna get under your skin. He gonna talk crazy to you. He gonna do everything he gonna do. But defensively, you can't take nothing away from Pat. Pat is a good defender. He's gonna play his role, and then he's always had that confidence about himself. No matter where he's been, when he was in Houston, when he was with the Clippers, now here with Minnesota, he's always had that confidence. So him bringing that confidence and that leadership to that locker room has pretty much put them in a different stratosphere. Like, it's catapulted them into. I really would have thought that this team would have been like 10 or 11, but with adding Pat to this nucleus, guys like Anthony Edwards, guys like Vanderbilt, they got Norrell. These guys is balling over there. Like, they so much so that I feel like they're gonna leapfrog over Denver, and they gonna be in the 6. I feel like they're gonna end up in the 6.
You said Denver with the MVP candidate gonna be in the play-in. That's what you said.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that too.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It's a couple of things though. Rel, stop disrespecting Jimmy Butler. Stop disrespecting Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler Jimmy Butler changed the culture of Minnesota. He did change it. He was changing it in the middle of it, and then it was management. I'm telling you, the big deal with Jimmy Butler is management over in Minnesota. He wanted to be paid. That's as simple as that. And then once they decided he wasn't getting paid, he became, well, I'm gonna show you guys I'm better than everything you got over here. Then because you just paid Andrew Wiggins, you just paid Cat, and you're not gonna pay me. So that became the beef with him. But he took him to the playoffs though, and they won one game, and Cat was awful in the playoffs that year. So I think he was changing it. Pat Bev, another thing with him, I wanted to say, I hope Josh Green, Josh Green played tough defense. I don't even care if you get so many foul calls against you, because obviously Pat Bev gets to do things now other players can't do because of his reputation. Not to say he's a bad defender, but like when you see pictures of him defending Luka and he has his face against his arm and all that, like that's a foul. But Pat Bev can do it because Pat Bev now has a reputation in the league. And referees let stuff go. So I'm looking at like Josh Green and saying, play hard. It was kind of like the Bruce Bowens, the Tony Allens. Once you get that reputation, referees let you go unless you do a little extra stuff. So I'm hoping Josh Green gets to like keep doing that type of stuff. Play hard all the time, so refs know that's the way you play. You play hard, so they start swallowing their whistle or whatever. So, but Pat Bev has changed the culture. I just didn't want you to disrespect Jimmy Butler like that, bro, because I know how you did.
No. It ain't that. So you're right. He did, and he helped them get to the playoffs. But what Pat Bev is doing, he changed the mindset of Cat. Jimmy Butler didn't do that with Cat.
He was trying.
This guy completely changed. No. I'm just saying, like in 1 year.
Yeah.
Is what Pat Bev did.
Yes.
That Jimmy didn't do in a year and a half. Because remember, they were more standoffish with Jimmy Butler. That's why I'm praising more. I can't believe I'm doing this. That's why I'm praising Pat Bev a whole lot more, because he completely changed the mindset along with the culture of Minnesota that Jimmy didn't do.
But he's also an underachiever that got paid by Minnesota. You see the difference?
I'm not knocking all that, but I'm just saying when you're talking about putting respect on Jimmy Butler because he changed. Yeah, he did help that team get to the playoffs. You're right, but he did this guy is helping them get to the playoffs and change their mindset. Because like I said, we've never seen Cat flexing on Cats out here.
Yes, you're
Dunking,
true.
Talking noise. You got D-Lo out here playing defense now, and
he's
always been knocked as not a guy not playing defense. Like he completely came and changed everything about that team, bro. And I can't believe I'm saying that. They're straight this from the record, man. I ain't saying
if they offered Pat Bev a veteran's minimum, you think he'd be playing the same?
I mean, that's
the part I'm at. No, he's making more than that. I think Pat Bev got banked. I think Pat Bev making like 52 mil or something like that.
Yeah, I think he got an extension with them.
Yeah, he got a nice.
He got an extension. Well, I think Pat Bev gonna do this regardless, though, man. No matter how much.
I feel you, but what I'm saying
because he was doing this in Houston when he was making $2.15 an hour. So
yeah, but he keeps getting a reputation, which you keep wanting to get paid for your reputation that you build up. If he'd have got the Minnesota and they'd have said, you know what, Pat Bev, you're nobody, we're just gonna give you this amount of money, I think he'd have been like, well, hold up, I'm Pat Bev now, I'm about to come in. I wouldn't want to. I don't feel like he'd have gave the same type of energy if the team didn't bring him in. He felt like the team brought him in for a reason. He even said on the JJ Redick podcast, he said once they came over here, gave me the extension and all that, it was like, okay, they felt like they needed me, and I wanted to go out here and show something for the boys. What I'm saying is Jimmy Butler, when you've shown that you're not needed, when you feel like you're the best player, most important player, most impactful player on the team, then you're going to start going to a point of being like, well, like Minnesota was good that year. Before, remember, Jimmy got hurt at the end of the year, and he almost slipped out the playoffs, and he came back at the end of the year, and they ended up getting the 8th seed, and then coming in there. Like Minnesota was good that year. It's all management. That's what I'm saying. Like, not saying it's all management. Jimmy don't deserve any issues or any slack for what he did, but if management would have just made the right decisions, then it wouldn't have been an issue. If they wouldn't have got rid of Zach,
talking about the same management that's not there no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they wouldn't have got rid of Zach LaVine
and owner
for letting Tim Tibbs or whatever run the show and get all his players over there, getting rid of Zach LaVine, like they had a system going on that could have set that up, but management screwed that up. So that's why I don't give Jimmy Butler as much, hate as a lot of folks do for that situation. I just feel like it was more of a management situation of controlling it the wrong way, because Cat and Andrew Wiggins weren't ready. Like we're talking about Andrew Wiggins right now at the beginning of the show, as far as shouldn't have been an all-star. And he got that max in Minnesota. And then Cat right now, he's talking about flexing for the first time, saying he's the greatest shooter of all time. That he's not. So there you go. Jimmy Butler deserved what he should have got, and he got it from Philadelphia. Philadelphia became a great team, was one shot away from making the
Well, no, he
Eastern
didn't get it
Conference
from
Finals and all.
Philadelphia. He got it from Miami. He didn't get paid to Miami.
To Miami, where he got it, but Philadelphia wanted him. Philadelphia was going to pay him the money. He decided to go to Miami though instead of Philly because they had Ben Simmons, and he said they weren't holding Brett Brown wasn't holding Ben Simmons accountable. That's the type of team he doesn't want to play on. So he said, I don't want to start that issue. Him and Joel Embiid are tight. Joel Embiid wanted Jimmy Butler. He even threw the shots out, Joel Embiid, saying that Ben Simmons, we did everything you wanted. We could have kept Joel Embiid instead of you, but we stayed for you instead. When what's his name? Ben Simmons was saying the team wasn't trying to benefit him and all that. He was throwing shots at Ben Simmons saying, well, we got rid of my guy, Jimmy Butler, because of you or whatever. So I just think Jimmy gets the short end of the stick, but I don't think he's as bad as he is. I just think he does a bunch of good stuff for a team.
Right. Okay. We're gonna touch on the play-in situation real quick. So if you don't mind, we throw up the Eastern and Western Conference standings real quick. So this is what the West looks like right now, as of today. And then the play-in spots right now are the Timberwolves, Clippers, Pelicans, Lakers. So on the Western Conference side of and now we have the East side, what it looks like so far, and in the playoffs, play-in spots we have the Raptors, the Nets, the Hornets, and the Hawks. So I'm gonna start on the Eastern Conference side of the four play-in.
That's how it looks right now.
And there's the overall. Okay. Of the play-in teams in the East, I'm gonna start off in the East. Of the four play-in teams in the East, which of those four teams do you see grabbing those final two spots?
Man, before we touch on that, it's crazy how Chicago and Cleveland had completely slipped down, bro. Chicago was number 1 in the East. Cleveland was number 3, and both of them are now slipped down to 5 and 6, and could be flirting with the play-in spots. That is crazy, bro.
Fake schedules, man.
Cleveland and Toronto are tied.
Fake schedules. Chicago can't beat anybody with a winning record.
Nope, that's crazy. You know what's funny too? I was watching a Miami YouTube show one day, and this guy was going off, man. Miami had just beat Chicago, and this guy was going off, man. Chicago, they fake this and that and this. I'm like, why are you talking down on Chicago, man? Chicago is pretty good this year, right? So then when later on I found out, like King just said, they got a losing record against the top 3 seeds in both conferences.
Yeah, they haven't beat any of them one time.
And if they beat, he said what?
They haven't beat any of them one time.
Yeah, not one time.
Not once.
And I was just crazy. Like, dang, when I seen that, I said, okay, now I see why the guy was saying that, man. Jesus.
My cousin the other day, I'm like, there are a whole bunch of number ones on bad teams that showed off on bad teams together. So they're like the ultimate bad team, if that makes sense. Like they're beating all the bad teams because they have the best players from all the bad teams, but they can't beat the good teams because they have players that couldn't beat the good teams as the number one guy. So they're the ultimate. Think about it. It's the truth though. Like
you put it like that. That makes sense.
DeMar DeRozan, these guys are all guys that don't impact winning by themselves. So it's just what they are right now. So, but as far as the play-in, my opinion on it real quick, I think Brooklyn has it. I think Brooklyn should be the favorite as far as getting a spot. And then the second spot, I'm not sure. I'm tossing up between Charlotte and Atlanta, depending on who gets. So Atlanta has it the hardest because they're all the way at the bottom. They have per road games, no matter what, in the play-in. They can't get a home game. So the Hornets, though, they get at least one home game against Atlanta when they play each other the first time. So I don't know. Whoever comes out of that game, I think, though, will make the second spot.
Who you got the 7 and 8?
So 7, I think Brooklyn's going to take the 7th seed, and then like I said, whoever wins between Charlotte and Atlanta will be the 8th seed. I think they'll beat Toronto in the second game.
I'm gonna go Brooklyn and yeah, you're right, King. That eighth one is gonna be hard.
Yes, I'm saying between it just whoever gets hot that one game and wins between Charlotte and
Yeah,
Atlanta.
you
I
just
think
take one.
yeah, whoever wins that one game gonna I think beat Toronto. I think they'll beat Toronto.
I think I'm gonna give it to Charlotte. I'm gonna give it to Charlotte.
Okay.
Because for one, Atlanta's missing John Collins. Charlotte, I think now is at that point now where it's time for LaMelo to take that next step. And I think the next step is for him to wield and lead a team to the playoffs. And I think this might be the year he finally does it. So I think it'll be Brooklyn and I'm gonna say Charlotte for that 8th seed.
Yeah, I think the same thing before you go, Neil. The only issue is that next step, but I think LaMelo's kind of having a sophomore slump in a way
Yeah.
people weren't talking about. If he was ready to take that step, I feel like he'd have been in the playoffs hunt, and we wouldn't be talking about him as the 9th seed. That's
Yeah, that's a good point.
my thing about, and I give Trae Young the edge because I don't want to not say Trae Young on the Atlanta Hawks because they were Eastern Conference Finals. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, so they know what it takes to win the one game and get there. They have that experience, so it's a toss up. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them win, but I think, like I said, whoever wins that matchup is going to be the 8th seed.
Yeah. Well, as it's currently constructed, I'm gonna go Brooklyn, and then uh, I believe in Charlotte. I know Atlanta has that experience, but I just believe that Charlotte may take that next jump and finally just do what they need to do and make that next move, which would be an interesting matchup for Brooklyn because if they hold on, they're gonna make it. They are potentially gonna play Philadelphia
Yep, that's
Mm,
what's going to
in the
happen.
first round.
That's what's going to happen.
mm. That's gonna be a
That
good one.
and that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
don't
really
think Philly going to get that second seed though. I think Philly would do whatever they have to do to make sure they don't have the second seed.
I think they'll.
Oh,
I think if they get close enough, they'll try to. If like say they don't make it to the first, they're gonna try to drop the third. If
You
they
think
can't
they'll
get that
take the first seed? Hold on. Do you think if Philly got the first seed, that Brooklyn went on purpose to try to get the 8th seed? Do you think they're that thorough?
Nah, I think Brooklyn don't want to play around with it
Okay,
because
okay.
you know what I'm
All right.
saying. Like you don't want to take a chance. So like say you lose that first game,
Yeah, I know.
you want to
I
play
know.
around with that second one. That's your last chance. Go ahead and get in there now. Then you just let the chips fall where they may. So yeah,
It
right.
could still fall that way though.
yeah.
We'll just
Because
say
right now,
they got to play. They
go,
got to play Toronto at away, right? And Kyrie can't play in Toronto, so it still could be that
Ooh,
way. That's the one place
yeah,
Kyrie can't play is
man, you got to
Toronto.
think about that, bro.
Uh-huh.
That's a good point.
yeah, it still could end up being that way. And the
Dang, I
rap,
think about that.
but also the way that the standings look, it's still a toss up because right now, uh, Philly and Milwaukee are tied for second.
Yeah,
And then they're only a game behind and wins behind Miami.
yeah.
Boston is only a game behind both Philly and Milwaukee. And
Well,
Cleveland could potentially slide to 7, and you could be
yeah.
playing Cleveland. Brooklyn
Mm.
could be playing Cleveland in that play-in game.
How far is Brooklyn from Cleveland? How many in the loss column?
The Brooklyn is 3 games behind them in the loss column, but
Yeah,
right now
Yeah, three.
Toronto and Cleveland are tied for 6,
yeah.
basically.
So I need to know. I would need to know the tiebreakers because if Cleveland or Toronto has a tiebreaker over Brooklyn, that's pretty. I think that's done. That's basically 4 games with 8 left. I think they. I don't think Brooklyn can catch them, but
Yeah,
because that's a lot. 3 games with 8 left is a lot, especially Brooklyn's not like hot right now. Like it's not like Brooklyn's winning every game they're playing. They still playing 60% basketball or whatever like that. So I don't know. They have to win out. So we'll see.
And it's not so far fetched that Chicago might slide down in the 7 too.
Yeah.
It's not
If
so far fetched.
if
that's
either one of
crazy,
them do,
bro.
it's a failure. It's true. It's truly a failure. Not this. I mean, it's a successful season still, but as far up as you went to fall in 7th, and then it's
Number
going to be
one.
talks about it's going to be talks about you possibly not even making the playoffs. Like that's when them that pressure is going to grow even more. Like from
Hey,
going and not having pressure to having pressure of winning a play-in game.
hey, then that right there too might convince Zach LaVine to chunk the deuce up, bro. I'm just saying.
I told you Zach leaving, bro, but you don't want to hear me yet. Zach don't. First and foremost, Zach.
Hey, you might
wanted
be
to
right,
win.
bro.
Zach wanted to win first. Then secondly, like Zach lost his number one spot. It's DeMar DeRozan's team now, and I think that he's fine leaving now. Like he's not. He doesn't owe Chicago anything anymore. They got a new toy. We just talked about it. Microwaves. Their new toy is DeMar DeRozan, and they're going to choose the wrong one. That's in my opinion. I still think you choose Zach LaVine over DeMar DeRozan. I think Zach LaVine has a bigger, ceiling than DeMar. I think DeMar DeRozan is right here. This is what you're getting. You got his best season of his career right here, and this isn't enough. And I think this is the furthest you're going to get with him, but they're going to choose the wrong guy.
Yikes. Okay, so on the Western Conference side, we got Minnesota, the Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, and the LA Lakers. And so of those four teams, who do you see getting in?
Shoot, we ain't even talk about 11 or 12 on either side. Is either one of them close to 10?
Not in the East.
On the East, okay. The East is too far away.
Yeah,
The West, I believe San Antonio was like 2 games.
They're two games behind. Yeah, they're only 2 games behind the Lakers.
That might be too far. 2 games might be too far.
And I don't know, like you said, King. I don't know what their head-to-head matchups are as far as tiebreakers and all that, and I don't know their schedule. So,
all right, what's your last 2 spots, bro? I'm interested in saying if you're gonna call one of them. If you're gonna say a team not gonna make the playoffs, come on. Let me hear it out your mouth. No, let Neil talk about this first. Kid Neil, this is team. His opinion.
So, of that 7-8 spot where we got Minnesota and the Clippers.
And who's to say Minnesota gonna be in that 7th seed too? So
yeah, we might see Minnesota. I feel like we're gonna see Minnesota jump up to 7, up to 6, and Denver be in that play-in spot.
See, Minnesota can still be 5th. We still Utah. This whole Western Conference from like 3 to like 8 can still switch.
It's a possibility still because there be some shakeup right there.
Yep.
But I'm looking at right now, they're way more closer than they are to the 5th seed. They're only half a game behind Utah, right? I mean, Denver right now. So, and Denver has been kind of shaky. They've been hot, so it could be actually Denver in that 7th seed.
Yeah, but they're only 3 games out. They're 3 games out, right? The same thing we said. Minnesota from the 4th seed, right?
Yeah.
They're only 3 games out.
It's interesting. So I as currently I see Minnesota. See Minnesota getting that 7th seed. I don't like what ifs. So I'm kind of torn between this because I don't want the Lakers to make the play.
Embarrassed. You don't want to get embarrassed.
I don't want them to. I want them to be like, this is it. This is done. Let's look forward to next year. But I know that they're not gonna do that.
Nope.
I can see them beating New Orleans and getting into that 8 spot. 8 spot means you play Phoenix. 7-game series with just a LeBron. At this point, I don't see us beating Phoenix.
That's when LeBron gonna hurt himself. LeBron gonna hurt himself in the playoffs if y'all make it. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be that period of playing Phoenix trying to get like 50 a game. The knock on wood, LeBron end up hurting himself or something like that.
So I got Minnesota and LA in those last 2 spots.
Do y'all owe someone a draft pick, Neil? Like this year? So
who do they not owe it?
Okay, I didn't mean to laugh that loud like that.
I'm just saying, y'all.
We know New Orleans our life for the next couple of years.
Is it protected?
No.
Which means you do want to make the play in, because if you don't, you saying you got the possibility for the number 1 pick and you might give it to New Orleans.
I mean, the chances of us being that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
But
that's what said. You got a high chance to get number 1 pick now if you don't make the play in. Y'all gonna have a good draft pick and you're gonna give it to New Orleans, but I don't know, man. I think for some reason,
bro.
I think it's so. I think either, man, I don't know. This is tough. Like, I really think that 7-8 is set. Like, I think the Clippers should make, especially if they get anybody back. If they get anyone back between Kawhi or Paul George, I think they can do it. Like you said, the Denver and the Timberwolves, whoever's there.
I think whoever they're gonna get that 7. That's
yeah, whoever's there going to get that. The 8th seed, though. So here's my thing with the 8th seed. If Zion Williamson plays, the NBA is going to try to get him in the playoffs. It was like that last year. That's the whole reason the play-in tournament was created, and it's like that again this year.
But
I think they ruled him out for the rest of the year.
Have they? I thought Willie Green said no, it's not. He's just still trying to. He's just working, and depending on whatever happens. I didn't think they ruled him out. If they did, they just did. But the last time I seen Willie Green talking, he's saying it wasn't for sure yet. They're just because him putting out that video made him go to one-on-one drills. Like, as soon as he put that video out, they started increasing his work. So he's going to be a 5-on-5 soon, or 3-on-3, and then 5-on-5. I think they're trying to get him in for the play-in tournament. And if they do, the way CJ McCollum's playing, you're saying just one game of Zion, like of a rare entity of just not being able to game plan for him, and just saying, you remember the first game against San Antonio when he first came, and it was that first game and he was going off. I don't know, man. Like, that 8th spot is tough. The Clippers, Pelicans, I don't think Portland can really do it. San Antonio, even with DeJounte Murray playing well, and then the Lakers, man. Like, it should be the Lakers, but every time I want to say, all right, the Lakers, you're gonna turn it on and have a great game, they go and they get embarrassed. It's not there. Like, they don't have that team where they can just, you be thinking, all right, they're gonna just turn it on eventually. They got too much talent.
The only thing going for y'all, King, Daryl, is they just said AB. They said AD will be back here very, very soon. So it's
like,
so. I mean, what does that mean? What is that? What does that?
I was just trying to give you something, man.
Come back, give me 18 and 7.
I'm gonna tell you this, man, and y'all know me. Numbers. Yeah, y'all know me. Y'all know me. I'm not delusional. I'm not a delusional fan. I'm not one of these. I'm a realistic Lakers fan. And realistically, we do not have what we need to be able to compete. We don't have it. It's not there. The team isn't gelling together. It doesn't work. My opinion, I know I have been since before the All-Star break, we had this conversation off the air. I was like, it's over. It's done. Mm-hmm. And, someone was like, oh, we're going to give it a little while. They might be able to turn it on after the All-Star break. It was over then. It was over to me, honestly, in January. It was a wrap. This was a flush. This team isn't gelling together. They have spurts where defensively they look okay, and then they have moments where Toronto is up 28-2 in the first quarter. Yeah. And then you have games where you stick in the game all the way against Philadelphia with Harden and Embiid without LeBron. So, like, it's too many ups and downs. It's time to call this game. I mean, I honestly would not, and I know LeBron wouldn't do this. I wouldn't play LeBron these last 8-9 games. I wouldn't do it. It's it. Wave the white flag and just go into the next offseason and try to figure this out. Russ has been playing better as of late.
Sure.
But there's not very many highlights, and then you don't really know what you're gonna get. You're banking on people you're banking on individuals that have had past resumes. You're banking on people that haven't proven anything. There's no Kendrick Nunn. He's MIA. Mm-hmm. That's a player that they were banking on to be able to contribute, and we hadn't seen him all year. You bringing in guys, young guys, energy guys. Like I do like Stanley Johnson. Is he a game changer? No.
Hmm.
I like Wyndon Gabriel. Is he a game changer? No. These are just utility guys. Dwight Howard's past his prime. That's the only center we got. AD is probably gonna come in and give you 18 and 5. I ain't gonna even give you 8. I ain't gonna give you 8. You was being nice with you was being nice with that 8. I'm gonna give you 5. Because I didn't see him play against
Putting up Spencer
top
Dinwiddie numbers.
tier. I didn't see him play against top tier power forwards and centers and only get 5 rebounds or 4. If I'm playing against another top tier guy, I'm trying to pull down 10 and 12 and put up 28. You were brought here to be the number 1 and let LeBron slide to 2. But you've been playing more like a 3.
4.
Yeah, 4.
You know, so I ain't gonna get on my soapbox about these Lakers. I can go all day, but I ain't. That's not what I'm here for. I did look up. They're saying that David Griffin said that Zion possibly could play, but it's more likely that he's not going to play. So yeah, you're right. They're trying to get him back in there because they still have a chance. And in my opinion, if you put a healthy one game Zion with CJ McCollum and a BI, that's trouble for you.
Yeah.
That's trouble. Because we know CJ can explode at any time. All he needs is one game. BI, one of the ones I wish we would have kept. He can explode at any time, and
Zion,
any type of Zion is
he going to explode just off that hype that it's going to be loud. The play, he going to explode that one game.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So it just depends, man. But like I said, those are my. Did y'all get y'all 2?
Yes.
I forgot.
I didn't get mine. I just said. I said. Well, I gave one of them. I didn't give the 8 one. I just don't know. I'm like y'all. I don't know. There's so many variables, man, for that 8 seed. But if I had to choose, man, I guess I'm gonna go with the Lakers, man, because LeBron. That's pretty much all I can say, bro. I can see LeBron going out there and getting you a 30-point triple-double, man, trying to will his team to that 8 seed. I don't see LeBron just going out there and just folding in, man, and just letting that team just not make it. You know what I mean? Even though they're gonna play Phoenix in the first round, it's gonna be a slaughterhouse. But I'm gonna probably go ahead and give it to the Lakers, man.
Neil, I'm gonna tell you the worst possible outcome for you and Lakers fans is that you guys got to play the Clippers for the playoff spot, and the Clippers beat y'all again.
Hey man, turn this off.
Oh my!
Which would be 5 times in a season and put y'all out, man. That
there's
would
hit the button, man.
That would be the worst thing ever.
Listen, bro.
I'm done talking.
If you need a shoulder to cry on, bro, we here, man.
That would be the worst thing ever. But I got a question for you, Neil, though. Who's your new coach and GM next year? And do y'all have a chance? Do you think you have a chance at Sam Presti?
So I've been hearing Quinn Snyder if he loses in Utah. If he loses that job, I've been hearing Quinn because we tried to get Quinn before he went to Utah.
Okay.
I don't think that Rob gets fired. I don't think Rob gets fired. The Lakers have a sense of loyalty to certain people.
Hard to say loyalty to certain people. I'm gonna say Frank Vogel got a chip.
Yeah, but so what I mean by loyalty is the Lakers see Rob Pelinka as one of their own. Frank Vogel isn't.
Yep.
You know, the only people that got the short end of the stick of being their own in the recent years is Jerry West and Tyronn Lue. Those are the only 2 people that I know in recent years that have been Laker owned and got the short end of the stick.
Y'all consider Tyronn Lue one of your own?
I consider Tyronn Lue one of us.
I think he is because that's why he's one of the candidates for the position.
But if that was the truth, I felt like they should have gave him the job. They just
Just they
I
want to
mean,
give him
but
that one extra year.
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like
they wanted to pick his
him,
assistants too.
him, and Jerry West are the only two people that are Laker owned that got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because when it was an opportunity to bring Jerry back, they didn't bring Jerry back. They let him go build other franchises and make them better.
Man, Jerry walked on him a few times though, man. Like at some point you get mad at him for doing what he did. Like you can't keep the opportunities are ready for you to come back. You done with them now?
I mean, but at the same time, Magic Johnson walked away from him a few times too in
Yeah.
different roles.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the Magic
So
man.
did
Magic though, man. Like Jerry West
Yeah,
lost
I
9
mean-
times in the finals. It's like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just
I
going.
mean, but you telling the truth, but it's
he
the
the logo
same.
though. He gonna show some respect.
Yeah, it's a little different though. But as far as Sam Presti, I would like to have Sam Presti because Sam Presti know what he's doing. I honestly feel like Rob Pelinka's ties to Kobe would keep him in the building. That's what's gonna keep him in the building. His ties to Kobe Bryant and the whole thing is gonna keep him there. LeBron throwing that praise towards Sam Presti was kind of probably like hey, pay attention to us over here. We might need you. They need to figure out their direction. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say y'all got the snake though. Like he's like the way that Josh McDaniels was seen in the NFL.
NFL.
Like y'all got a guy that's seen as the snake now. Like remember, he's a guy that lied about Kobe meeting Heath Ledger when Heath Ledger was dead, or something like that. Like this is just
he definitely got a
Pelinka.
reputation around the league, man.
Magic Johnson, he got Magic Johnson fired. Like
Magic didn't get fired. He
stepped away. He got Magic Johnson fired.
He was on the verge.
It's a nice way of saying Magic Johnson got fired by because it's Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. You would think that any day of the week they would say, "Well, Rob, see you." It's Magic Johnson. If Magic Johnson left, they wanted to keep Rob Pelinka. So I don't know. That Rob Pelinka experiment, like I just feel like he's one of the guys that get more credit than he deserves. Not to be rude, but like a lot of the Lakers, like their team and the way they built up right now is LeBron and what's his name? Rich Paul. The way that's basically how the system got set up. So Rob Pelinka just is the guy that's labeled GM, so he gets known as the guy that got him a championship or whatever. I just feel like he isn't as important as he seems.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, had anything to add? Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Let's go, Mavs. It's like, no, I'm kidding. Glow Gang, GGs. That's what I want to
say. Shameless plug. You know,
I mean, it's part of the GG Nation. This is the Glow Gang.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm trying to build it up over here. You know, y'all the big brothers of the channel. I'm coming in behind. You know, let y'all knock the wall down and let me.
So we the Lakers, you the Clippers.
We trying to get your numbers. What you mean?
Man. So man, y'all out there, y'all creeping up behind me. I got that 1.4. That Dinwiddie with that on that cover, man. That's 1.2 last time I checked. You know,
I need to check it again. I need to go back and look. You know more than I do. We had 1.2 in there, bro. That's awesome. Thank you, Glow Gang. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all was at 1.2, and I was like, ooh, I need to step my game up because they coming from and this was long for them. Mine was short. So hey, you know, congratulations to y'all, man.
Thank you. I think that was like a 2-hour show almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, our show's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
People love us, man. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. We building something special over here. So if you like what you saw, and I know this one was not your usual We Talk Math. This is a little bit more of a broader conversation. If you like what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button. You know, it's going to help us out a whole lot more. Tell a friend, share, post on your Twitter, your IG, wherever you at on social media, man. Help us grow this more so that way we can reach more to the masses. Follow us on Glow We Talk _NBA on Twitter, trying to blow that out some more, get some more interaction with you guys. Yeah, man, just support us in any way possible. Tell a friend. Real King, you guys got anything to add?
Yeah, man. Follow us also on We Talk Mavs on Twitter. Follow Daryl here on Glow We Talk underscore NBA on Twitter, guys. We definitely are active on there. We just trying to grow this channel, trying to grow this brand. So with you guys' subscriptions and your likes and things like that, man, we definitely could use it. We're slowly but surely getting there, man. On our way to our first 400 now, so we definitely can use that.
What up,
Your help
VIP?
with all that. What's up, VIP, man?
Yeah, I don't have much to say either. I just appreciate you, Rel. I appreciate you, Neil. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for rocking with us.
Oh yeah,
Glow
thank you for
Nation.
having us on the show,
Yeah.
Daryl.
Thank you,
I
Glow
mean,
Nation, for rocking with us, man. Ben, VIP, Euro. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys, how
Johnny
much
V.
we appreciate you guys. Yeah, how much
yes, sir.
we come on here, like I say, almost every other day and get prepared. Like Rel always says, this is my favorite part of the show. It really is. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy barbershop talk. This is what I did before I was even on this show. So to be able to do it with you guys is awesome. And I appreciate it. So thank you guys. Oh, we didn't do a 1 through 8 VIP. I see you wrote another thing. We just did our play-in predictions. Basically, everybody else is basically set. I don't know if you guys want to throw that before we go. You guys want to go down to 1 through 8 real quick and just see who you think they're gonna stay in line?
No, we probably running on time now.
All right, that's fine. Then
Yeah, we'll VIP. We're gonna tackle that on another show.
Yeah,
Just gonna put it on you guys' radar later on. We're gonna do a playoff preview version of We Talk NBA, and that way we'll have all the breakdowns and our predictions for those series as well. We also got some other things in the works. We do thank you, VIP. Much respect to you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for being on today, paying attention. I'm sure you probably in a different time zone getting this
yeah,
in. So we appreciate all the love and support. But yeah,
I think it's night over there with him.
ooh-wee. Yes,
VIP
sir. So
isn't
yeah.
VIP in Slovenia, right? VIP is Slovenia,
yeah.
right?
I think it's Selena. Yeah,
Ljubljana.
Ljubljana.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you staying up
Yeah,
with us, man. Check this out. Well, yeah, but with that being said, man, it's been fun. Thank you guys for coming on with me. I really appreciate it. And this is it for We Talk NBA.
peace. It's
Yes,
gonna work for you.
sir.
It's gonna work.